It is Sunday, December 15th here at the West End Gun Club at 6:40. I am up here on the upper range of the facility, which is technically supposed to be closed for a high power match, but I don't think they're shooting today. But I'm taking a gamble that they're not. In either case, they usually start at 8, but I'm going to sneak in this session up here if I can. That being said, the reason we're up here today is for this. This is a trigger cam, and a lot of people are thinking, oh, great, you finally got a trigger cam. I did have one before, and I got rid of it or I sold it. But think, oh, thanks, you got a trigger cam. Now we can actually see what you're shooting at on your NRL 22 walkthroughs or run-throughs. But if you look very closely, it says Triggercam 2.1, and there's a red cross, which stands for the 2.1 plus. This is what I've been waiting for 3 years, and this is the larger version, which will fit around the ocular belt of a Zico, because I think a Zico is, what is it? Somebody needs to refresh my memory. It's at 48 or 50 millimeter ocular bell diameter. So the original trigger camera, the 2.1, what's it called, the original, but the 2.1 does not fit around a Zico. You can technically kind of make it work, but you're going to be scratching up the finish on your ocular belt because it's barely going to hold on, and you're just basically going to be friction fitting it on there and then tightening it down, which I don't like that idea. As much as I want to record content through my scope, I do not want to scratch up my Zico, even though you're probably going to scratch it up anyways, but I don't know. I didn't feel like doing that. In any case, I emailed them like 3 years ago and asked them, hey, when are you going to come out with a version that'll fit a Zico? And they said, oh yeah, we're working on it. And I'm like, cool. Year passed. And I said, hey, just following up, like, what's the story on this? They said, yeah, we're still working on it. A year later, I think I emailed again. I said, hey, what's going on with this? I said, oh yeah, we're going to be taking pre-orders soon. I'm like, oh, great. And so I waited on that, and then I finally was able to pre-order, and then I think I was expecting in the summer of this year, 2024, and then it never came out in June and July, and they had on our website, hey, we're going to come out with it. And it kept pushing it back another month. And then finally they took it off the website, and I'm like, oh, wow, what's going on here? And so finally I got in contact with them, and basically I got my 2.1 plus. I put in the order, they give me an invoice, and I got it. So from what I understand, they have a high demand for these things. I didn't think they would for a version that'll fit around a Zico, because, you know, Zicos are pretty niche, right? Not many people have a ZCO. But I heard, according to them, the person I was working with, they have a high demand and they can't fulfill it all fast enough. So you just gotta have to be patient. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to be patient. But anyway, I was messing around with the home, and I figured it all out again. I just had to remember how to do everything, which is very simple in the Triggercam 2.1 or 2.1 plus. And I've got it already mounted on the Zico, and we're gonna start shooting it today just to see how well it works and how I like it as far as just optical clarity, because you're putting another lens over your lens, so you're going to lose some clarity. But if you start with the top-notch clarity and you lose a little bit, it's going to be okay. If you notice, we're just going to quickly show the mounting of this deal. It's cocked, or canted 90 degrees counterclockwise, and that's because in order to use a magnification ring, which it's going to hit, I don't know if I can reorient my tripod here so you can actually see it and on the camera, but in order for you to use the magnification range, you have to get this thing, because it's going to hit the what do we call this thing? Basically the I'm losing my train of thought here. It's the deal to help you move the ring, the throw lever. Jeez. Anyway, to use the throw lever, you have to have it because it's going to block it. The throw lever is going to hit it. So if you have a throw lever, if it has a throw lever integrated, it's going to conflict with this trigger cam if you put it at the normal orientation at 12 o'clock. So in order for me to use max magnification range at 20, are you seeing this? Yeah, you can see it on camera. I have to move it to 90 degree counterclockwise in 9 o'clock position, but then I lose a little past 8. So I don't get 8 and below, like below 8. So it stops right there. That's just something you have to, ironically, you have to compromise here on a Zico with the Triggercam 2.1 plus. So that's how that's set up. Not much else to say here. I did get another one, the scope cam, before this, and I kind of wish I didn't, because I was impatient and I was waiting for this to come out. I have the scope cam. I don't remember the model number. I played around with it a little bit after I got it, and I did some recording at home in the driveway, just aimed at like trees down the street. And I will tell you that I was very disappointed in that one, but we'll talk about that in a future range vlog and whatnot. But let's go ahead and get started shooting before people come up here, because I don't know if they're going to try to occupy the range. So let's get to it. All right, before we begin, we're just going to shoot on paper, just to confirm 0 here. All right. And you can notice that I've got my SkyPod fixed, because if you watch my last range vlog, I got a cramp in my leg. Oh. I broke a pin somehow, and so they sent me a new pin, or set of new pins and springs for the leg. So we're all good there. All right. See where we're at here. It's very windy this morning. Low and to the right, that's fine. And why didn't it get that shot? That's interesting. It's very interesting. It didn't record the shot on the Garmin. Uh-oh, that's odd. Never had that happen before. $26.90. Okay. Oh man, not very comfortable right now. All right. First shot was to the right. Second shot was to the left. First shot was a little bit to the right. All right, 2689.1. All right, definitely gonna have to remember all these settings, dude, but I had it on quick record, so I think that's what it means. So that's why it started recording immediately. Let's go ahead and see if this actually comes on target here. And I hit high and left, which a little tripod bounce there. Little high. We are about 10 feet per second faster, which you wouldn't think would be that much to get you 1/10 of a mil, but I think it's swinging quite a bit. Should we take a shot on it? Why not? The wind's blowing me off target though. I don't have it maxed out on mag. I only have it set to about 15. Let's dial it up. Oh, did I hit one to pop? I don't know. I don't know if I hit the hook. That's weird. I don't think I hit an impact on the hook. All right, I maxed out the magnification. It's like to 20. So you can see all the wobble I have on this tripod. And the wind's blowing quite a bit. Oh, and I missed. Can you believe that? I missed. I hate dialing that tight on my magnification at this range. And I missed again. Interesting. Man, 3 misses in a row. That's not good. Ooh. What are we at? 2694, standard deviation of 2.6. That's pretty good. Square away here. It's kind of embarrassing. Now you can all see that I'm missing this target. Huh. I question what's going on there. Am I jerking that? Wow, 2694, 2.5, standard deviation, 10 shots. That's really good. All right, let's take some quick kneeling shots and then we'll call it. Just want to get some footage with the trigger cam. But where are we here on this target here? All right. We'll turn off the illumination, so I don't have any with the illumination off. I missed to the right, I think. Man, today's not a good day for making hits. There you go. It's just cold and windy. And I missed that last shot. All right. Well, now we got a trigger cam so you can all see how badly I am shooting. All right. Let's go ahead and clean this up, pull in our targets, and then I'm going to try to make my way with the rimfire range if we can, because technically when there's a match on this day, the rimfire range is closed, but since there's no match going on, I'm going to talk to the RO and we'll head over to the rimfire and try this on a voodoo. So I cleared it with the ROs. They said they're not going to have the match today, so I can go ahead and use the rimfire range. And part of it is I also wanted to try out these new target stands from DM Targets, I think they're called. And they're foldable stands. And it's kind of hokey. Like, it's kind of weird to get them to come out, but you have to, they're spring loaded kind of, like you compress them, and it has these legs or these feet that come out. And so it takes a little bit of understanding. Like, I don't really understand how this comes out, but it kind of swivels out and they flop out, and then they settle into place. It's the same thing with the bottom side. You hold the bottom end and you let it, but it's kind of hard because both sides want to come out at the same time. So it takes really takes a little bit of maneuvering, but it's kind of weird. In any case, that's how they come out, and they're settled, right? So that's the feet for the base, and then they come with these hangers, and I have a double hook and a single hook, but let's just put the single on here. They also, I think they sell an extension so you can get higher up, but I didn't get that. They have some hardware here to get the, wearing gloves because it's cold, hand holding this targets here, but it is windy too. I think a 15-mile-an-hour wind, so rimfire ain't gonna be fun today. So we have these cotter pins, which I believe you just simply put into place here, the bottom, and flop them in there. That holds them in, so that's pretty cool. However, this is my complaint with most of these target stands is the hooks. So these are the Atlas Target Works targets. They don't fit over the hooks of this target stand. JC Steel doesn't fit over the hooks of the Atlas Target Works stands, and the Atlas Target Works targets don't fit over the hooks of the DM. So that's my complaint with all of these target companies is they all make their targets different for they're unique to their stands. However, it is understandable because they all have a different way that they're mitigating the targets from coming off the stand, because that's one of the big problems with NRL 22 is the targets, they impact and they fly off eventually. They come off the hook, and that's problematic when it comes to running a match because you have to call ceasefire, then you go down range to fix it, and then that's that. DM does sell these adapters, and so there's these adapters that'll allow you to adapt different targets to their stands. So that's what I got just in case they didn't work, and I'm glad I did because the JC Steel ones don't fit, or sorry, the Atlas Target Works don't fit. But today we're only going to try out a single, I'm going to try out a single 4-inch target because I'm too lazy to break down one of the other targets. But we're going to go ahead and just quickly adapt this to this, and then we're going to hang it off here. This is a 4-inch target. We're going to put this at 100 yards. It is windy today, so it is not going to be exactly easy, but easy enough. And I only brought up the ladder, which you'll see in a moment once I get this thing on. I did bring out the ladder just to have a prop. I'm too lazy to bring out anything else as far as the props are concerned. And because I'm not going to be shooting for very long here today. And I just wanted to try out my trigger cam. And why is this not... oh, I know why. It's because... Wait, why is that? It probably goes over the other side. Let's try this. Sorry, guys. And I think I just... There it goes. It's a lock nut there. So they use carriage bolts. The carriage bolt goes on that side, and then put the hook that side. Oh, we can do it like that. Carriage bolt up front. Okay, I see how we can do this. And let's get that in there. I didn't bring my impact with me. Sorry if that... All right, let's get this on here. All right, that's good enough. It can just move a little bit. Doesn't need to be exact. Fit. Yeah, good enough. And then that's it. And then you can flop around if need to. Yeah, I should open it up. It's a lock nut, so it shouldn't vibrate. Should not vibrate loose, but it probably can. All right, that's it. So we'll try this out. We'll set up 100 roughly, and then we'll shoot. It's a mock stage with the trigger cam, and then we'll call it a day because it is windy. It's like 15 plus gusts. So let's get going. All right, we're gonna run a mock stage here. I set up a sawhorse and the ladder. The reason why I set this up rather than running 2 shots per step is because the target is too low, the stand, because the berm blocks it when I'm at the lower one. So we're just gonna shoot 2 off a step, 2 here, 2 off a step, 2 here, 2 off a step, and call it 10 rounds, and we'll just use different steps. But let's try this one out. It's just a mock stage, nothing serious. I'll set up a 2-minute timer just to add some stress to this, and then we will try this out. I didn't bring a heavy bag, but I brought my heavy gun. But we'll see how this one goes. But let's go ahead and just start it here. And I'll just go on my go. Shooter stand by. Okay. And I don't have angle. And on the camera, we're going to see the ladder step here. There's only 2 shots. If it looks hasty, it's because the ladder is blocking my trigger cam or the scope. Oh, we can barely see the target from here.
sail over the top. All right. Next step here. And that wind is taking that bullet. All right. So we got to aim at the target, even though it's the berm. So aim at the berm right there, and it'll come over the top. The last one here. And you're not going to be able to see the target very well. Where's that wind? Wind's got to be to the right. Yeah. All right. Wow, only 6 seconds left. But you get an idea. Unfortunately, like the ladder, the way the angle is, the front of the ladder blocks the image. That's why you're seeing that obstruction in the right there. But for the most part, things look fine. Probably gonna adjust the parallax a little better there. Parallax is slightly different. The Triggercam on the scope, maybe. It's all right. Cool. All right, we're gonna wind this down. First off, the target stand. So there is a flaw that I've noticed in these DM targets stands, is that the target does sit lower than I need it to. That's the problem with this range, is because we're shooting an upper angle and then there's elevated berms. If you're at a lower level, if you're shooting from lower off the ground, you may not have a line of sight to the target. So I did notice it here. So compared to the Atlas target work stand, you know, you can see that this is about the same height as about the bottom target, assuming it's hanging. And the target adapter doesn't help any. I could probably cock it so that it sits like to the right or the left at 90 degrees to get a little bit higher. But I think what you need here is a longer column, if you want to call it that. I like the design though. This is very novel. So if I were going to the range and I needed a rimfire stand, this is perfect, right? If I was just going to carry this, and then my target respectively, and then this folds down really nice. It can fit in any car and you're good to go. So I think this is nice for that standpoint. They are inexpensive. I can't remember what I paid for just the base, but I think it was like 20 something bucks, and there was a Black Friday sale. I wasn't looking for it on Black Friday. I think they made an announcement that they had these new bases, and I said, hey, I want to try these out. So it just coincidentally was on sale. But that being said, I think they're pretty inexpensive. And so having a collapsible rimfire target stand, this might be a good option, knowing the caveats that it might sit kind of low than you need to. I need to go see if they make any sort of elevated or like an extension. I thought they did. If they don't, then I'll ask them, hey, why can you make a longer stand or hook or whatever? Because I think I need this another 6 to 8 inches to be safe, especially the double hooks. I think the double hook, that was way too low. So I would need it to be about another 8 or 10 inches taller, 10 inches taller to be safe for the upper or the far parts of our range or impact area. But yeah, check them out. DM Targets, I'll put a link in the description. I did buy these myself. I just wanted to try them out. I thought they looked pretty cool, and I think they are. It's just there are some limitations depending on your venue. With that being said, really happy with the Triggercam 2.1 Plus. We'll look at the video footage in post, but I'm glad to have a Triggercam that fits a Zico. Been waiting like 3 years for this thing, and glad to have it. And for those of you who didn't know, I did have a Triggercam. In my earlier range vlogs, I did have a Triggercam, and I was using it only on like the Collis because It didn't work on a Zico. And so after a while, I said, you know what? I shoot only my Zicos most of the time because they're my rimfire guns. What do I do? And I just said, you know what? I'm not going to just switch to another scope because of the trigger cam. And in retrospect, some other people, you know, would say, no, you're going to switch scopes just to have that footage, but not me. I like the Zicos, my favorite scope so far. And so I sold it, the trigger cam, to another person, and who also does YouTube videos, does great videos. Matt, aka OneFat. I sold him my trigger cam, and he used that to great effect for his match coverage. So glad he put that to good use. And as far as me, well, now I have my own that I can actually use on my videos, since the Zicos are primarily what I shoot, especially now with NRL Hunter. I have the ZC420 on my NRL Hunter rifle. But I'm going to have a little bit of a review on this, not much because the trigger cam's been out for a long time. I'll probably do a short review of the trigger cam and why it's a pretty solid scope cam. And it's probably the only real scope camera out there that you should be considering at all, because nothing else really compares at this point. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pack it up and get out of here. It is like starting to blow. It's like 18 to 20 mile an hour on the Kestrel. So it dies down a little bit to like 10. And I got some buffeting from the surrounding containers, but definitely getting miserable out of here. So if you're in the area, in the Inland Empire, want to shoot the NRL 22 match this weekend, December 22nd, that's Sunday, we will be having our December match. I anticipate it's going to be a low turnout because people are probably traveling for Christmas and the holidays. I only got like 9 signups so far, which is fine. But definitely come out if you're in the area. Anyway, that's it for today. Sunday, December 15th, here at the West End Gun Club. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vlog.